Hey everyone, today I'm going to review the brand new Revlon Colorburst Lacquer Balms and Matte Balms. So I found these once again at Harmon's inside of Bed Bath & Beyond. There are a ton of shades to choose from. At first glance, I thought that these looked exactly like the Revlon Kissable Balm Stains. That's what I thought they were when I first saw them, but they're actually not Kissable Balm Stains. They don't say that anywhere on here. They're called Colorburst Lacquer Balms, and then the matte ones, which have like a matte finish packaging, are Colorburst Matte Balms. So here's what the packaging looks like. I found out later on after I bought these that there are 10 lacquers and that there are 10 mattes. And I bought all of the ones that they had available at the store that I went to. But unfortunately they didn't have all the mattes there. I only have 4 of those, and I have all of the lacquers. So there are 20 shades in this collection, and I think that these are going to be permanent because the packaging and the display didn't say anything about being limited edition. These were $7 each at Harmon's, which isn't too bad, and I think that they're the first ones to have it because I haven't seen them anywhere else yet, but hopefully other stores will start to get them soon. They also had new Revlon Shadows. These are single shadows. They're called Shadow Links and they link together. I'm going to review these later. I just want to talk about the formula first off. The formula on these is so hydrating. It is nothing like the Kissable Balm Stain formula. I feel like those are a little bit drying. I know a lot of people are kind of like love them or hate them with the Kissables, and I feel like these are going to be a huge hit with everybody because they're very hydrating and they actually remind me a lot of a lip butter, but just in a chubby stick form. The pigmentation on these is great. I'm wearing one right now and I just used one swipe around the mouth. That's all I needed. And also what I like about these is that you can wear them sheer if you would like. You can build them up to full color, which is what I did today. But I feel like they can be worn in different ways, which is always nice if you want a more subtle or intense look. I wore this out the other day and it only lasted me about 2 hours before it just completely faded off. But it did wear off evenly and I was really impressed with that. I didn't have any bleeding or feathering with this, which is really good because the texture is a little bit slippery. It doesn't feel greasy or anything like that. It's just really buttery and smooth. And I was expecting it to kind of bleed a little bit, but it totally didn't. So I love that about this. As for smell and taste, it doesn't really have a taste at all, which is great, and it has a very faint minty smell just like the Kissable Balm Stains. But I noticed after I applied these that my lips kind of get a little bit of like a minty tingle. It doesn't sting or anything, but there's definitely like a tingling sensation that you get. I think it's probably because of the mint in here. So overall I really like these lacquer balms. I was really impressed with the pigmentation for one, and the fact that the texture is really buttery and smooth, and these do feel hydrating like a Revlon lip butter. That's exactly what it feels like to me. So I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to end up really loving these because I know lip butters are just so popular. I don't feel like the matte balms are as hydrating as the lacquer balms at all. They kind of just sit on top of your lips. You don't really, it doesn't necessarily feel bad, but it doesn't feel good either. It's just one of those lip products that I wasn't too impressed with, and I feel like the pigmentation on these isn't as strong. It's a little streaky when you apply it. When I applied the matte balm to my lips, it kind of looked like my lips were dry, even though they weren't. So if you have chapped lips, it'll make them just look awful. And I wasn't as impressed with the matte balms. I didn't really like them at all, and these didn't really last very long either. You know, the quality just isn't there, and I just wasn't impressed with them. I guess these matte balms would probably not be as drying if you put like a lip balm under it, but this is supposed to be a balm, so I mean it kind of just defeats the purpose for me. So now let's get into the swatches, and first I'm going to start off with the lacquer balms. The one I have on right now is called Enticing. It's just a really pretty red. I feel like it has a little bit of a blue undertone to it. This shade is called Tease. It's just like a true orangey shade. In person it looks a little bit darker than it's coming off on the camera. This shade is called Whimsical. It's a deep pink shade that has a little bit of purple undertones in it, and it has a lot of white silvery glitter chunks in it. This shade is called Coquette, and it's a cool toned light pink. This shade is called Flirtatious. It's another one of my favorites of the entire line, and it's a red that has a lot of pink in it. It's almost like a scarlet. This shade is called Demure, and it's a nude that has a little bit of a beigey pink vibe to it. Once again, it has a lot of big glitter chunks in it, and this one actually feels really gritty for some reason. This shade is called Koi. It's like a deep brown. It has a lot of shine to it. It looks almost coppery in person. This one is called Vivacious. It's a really pretty hot pink that almost has a corally look to it. I love it. It reminds me a lot of MAC Impassioned. This shade is called Provocateur. It's another one of my favorites from the collection, and it's just a really bright cherry red. This shade is called Ingenue. I think that's how it's pronounced. That's what Merriam-Webster dictionary says.
Ingenue.
So anyway, it's a really pretty, like a toffee brown shade. Okay, so now I'm going to get on with the matte shades that I have. This shade is called Showy, and it's a bright pink that is very cool toned. It has a lot of blue undertones to it. I don't really like the way that it looks. I just feel like it settles into my line. So the next matte shade I have is called Audacious, and as you can see, it's like a neon orange. Once again, it looks a little bit cakey and kind of patchy, and the formula just kind of it's too creamy to try to get the patchiness to go away. This shade is called Unapologetic. It's a really bright coral, but this one feels really dry. This one feels even drier than the other mattes for some reason. So this is the last shade I have to show you, and it's called Sultry. It's a really pretty kind of like a deep brown, but it has a mauve-y undertone to it. And I absolutely love this shade. This one does feel the most comfortable out of the mattes. And since I have a lot of these, I'm just going to link down below some arm swatches in case you want to see what they look like, not on the lips, just on my skin. So overall, I am just really impressed with these lacquer balms. I feel like they're pigmented, they're really comfortable to wear. Like I said, I feel like they're just like a Revlon lip butter, but in a super convenient chubby lip pencil type of form. And as for the matte balms, I feel like they could have been better. I just feel like they were a little too creamy and they just applied a little bit patchy. You really have to build up to get the color that it shows in the tube. So I'm not saying that these are terrible, but I just don't think they're good either. And they are workable. You could work with them to make them look good, but I just don't want to waste my time, and I'm not really too impressed or thrilled with these. But if you really like the colors, then definitely check them out. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and as always, thank you so much for watching.